Hi there, this is Jonathan Ginsberg. I'm an Atlanta area personal bankruptcy attorney. And today I'd like to answer the question, what is the minimum amount of debt I need to qualify for Chapter 7 or Chapter 13 bankruptcy? And there really is no minimum, but what I'm really talking about here is, at what point does it make sense? At what point does it not make sense? Because obviously if you file bankruptcy, there's a cost involved. The filing fee is over $300, either Chapter 7 or Chapter 13. You've got a credit counseling course you've got to go to. That's going to be another $30, $40. Chapter 7 attorney fees are going to be $1,000 to $2,000. Chapter 13 attorney fees are going to be $4,000 to $5,000 when all is said and done. So you've got to really make a decision. And my feeling is that for Chapter 7, if you don't have $25,000 or $30,000, you got to really think about whether it makes sense to spend a couple of $2,000, let's say, to get rid of $20,000. Well, maybe it does, but that's 10% of the total balance. And would your $2,000 be better off paying your creditors? So I think if you only have $20,000 of debt, I'm not so sure Chapter 7 makes a lot of sense. If you got $30,000, $40,000 of debt, especially if it's credit card debt with large interest rates, then you may make the decision that it does kind of make sense. And again, you can sort of justify spending a couple $1,000 to get rid of $40,000. But when you get too much below that, I question whether it makes a lot of sense. Chapter 13, again, even more expensive. It's a 5-year plan. They keep making Chapter 13 more complicated, and as a result, the attorney's fees keep going up just because we have more stuff to do. So right now, when all is said and done with a 13, you're looking at between $4,000 and $5,000, plus you got the filing fee and the counseling courses. So it's going to be, in that $5,000 range. It doesn't make sense to file unless you've got, again, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 of debt. I had a lady call me just recently. She's got a vehicle that's repossessed. She owes $3,500 on it. I said, it just doesn't make sense to spend $4,000 to address a $3,500 outstanding balance on your vehicle that had just been repossessed. So don't do it. I'd rather see you spend your money to try to get your car back than to file bankruptcy. So again, sometimes that means people are caught between a rock and a hard place. They have $10,000 of debt they can't pay, and then they're looking to see should they file bankruptcy, and it just doesn't make a lot of economic sense. But on the other hand, what do they do? Again, I feel like unless you're in that $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 range, it's something that you really want to think twice about. Does it really make sense to do it? In my view, you need to be kind of in that $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 and more range before it starts to really make a lot of sense to spend a bunch of money on bankruptcy. The process has gotten more complicated. There's a lot more work for you and for your attorney to do. So again, it's just not cheap to do. And there can be situations where you really don't, it doesn't make sense to file either a 7 or a 13, but you're stuck with debt. So those are difficult situations. But again, don't spend money on bankruptcy unless you've got enough debt to really make it worthwhile. And again, my rule of thumb is, $30,000, $40,000, that sort of number. So hope you found this helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up on YouTube, like it on Facebook, subscribe to my YouTube channel, like our Facebook page. And if I can answer any questions for you about filing bankruptcy in the Atlanta area, please do let me know. My name again is Jonathan Ginsberg, and I wish you the best. Thanks a lot. Hi, this is Jonathan, and I hope you found this video helpful. I'd like to invite you to download my free Debt Destroyer Survival Kit right now. I've packed my survival kit with answers to the questions I've heard from clients for over 25 years here in the Atlanta area. Inside the survival kit, you'll find clear, easy to understand answers to critical topics about how to solve debt problems once and for all, including how do I protect my stuff, my house, car, and personal property if I file for bankruptcy? Are there any legitimate alternatives to bankruptcy? Will I ever get credit again, and if so, when? What mistakes must I avoid to get the most benefit out of bankruptcy? You can claim your copy right now by visiting my atlanta-bankruptcy.com website. And you are always welcome to use the email form on my website to ask me anything about debt and personal bankruptcy in Atlanta. www.atlanta-bankruptcy.com. And as always, I wish you the best.